What's up, guys? In this video I'm going to show you guys what happens if you disable texture streaming on Fallen Order. I know a lot of the runners experience like issues similar to this, and they don't have this option disabled, but they have crashes and their game loads very slowly. I don't experience any of this, but when I disable texture streaming, which I'm going to show you here how to do in Origin, game properties, advanced launch options, it's no texture streaming with a hyphen in front of it, command line arguments. Now what this no texture streaming option actually does is disables texture streaming. Highest quality textures are always loaded. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I can assume the game reloads the textures, displaying lower quality, lower resolution textures instead of loading in the maximum quality textures all at once, is what I would assume that this console variable does, which is why it would cause more of a demand on your hardware, and if you're moving too fast could possibly cause your game to crash. Some people actually recommend enabling no texture streaming. If you look at Fortnite frame rate optimization guides, people actually recommend disabling texture streaming for maximum performance. Now, judging based on my experience in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I would say that is a terrible recommendation. Fortnite is also an Unreal Engine game, as Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is as well. All right, so we're going to load up our launch save file, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like with texture streaming disabled, doing this launch, and also with Purge Trooper skip, and what it looks like with it enabled. And then I'm also going to try and get my game to crash on Bogano 2 because it was crashing on Bogano 2 with texture streaming disabled. So we are going to do our 60 FPS launch here with texture streaming disabled, and we're going to see how long it takes to load. Now my computer is fast, a really good computer, and normally I only have to toggle photo mode for like a second when I do this launch. Now look how long this takes to load. Still hasn't even loaded in yet. And this, okay, this next jump into here with texture streaming enabled, I can jump straight through here, hit the loading trigger, and land on the platform. Now, we're gonna see how long this takes to load. If I can get up here, not die in the process. All right. Hope okay, it's still loading. It sounds like the wind has loaded. I died. Okay, doesn't matter. You saw how long it takes to load. It's ridiculous. Now, on to Purge Trooper skip. All right, so here we are, Purge Trooper skip. The infamous. What we're gonna do is we're gonna drop down here before we hit the loading trigger. The loading trigger is right here next to center console. And what you would normally do is hit the trigger and then like do your thing. Anyways, I have videos on this. I'm not gonna explain. I'm gonna hit the trigger and I'm gonna dash and I'm gonna fucking jump straight into the room before it loads, okay? Now I cannot just do that without this option disabled. The unfortunate drawback of this option enabled is it makes the game crash because it loads so slow that the game can't handle it. You're trying to go too fast and the game just can't keep up. So now we're gonna go to Bogano 2 and see what happens when I zoom. Okay, so unfortunately you won't be able to actually see my game crash, but when it crashes you will just see the video capture disappear and you'll see my picture of Ahsoka fighting Vader. And when I was doing this yesterday, it was crashing for me upon entering the Mantis. Let's go. And crashy. There it is. Fallen Order has crashed. And now we will move on to, well, texture streaming enabled. All right, so here we are back to Zeffo. And for this launch, you don't have to actually sit in photo mode until the complete area loads. I just did it to show you guys how long it actually takes to load. Yeah, you can exit photo mode like instantly. As soon as you see the cliffside load, you can exit photo mode because the walls are technically loaded in. Now we're going to do our launch. I will sit in photo mode, let you see the full area load in comparison, and I will do a side by side. So when I hit photo mode here, you're gonna see, like, it's gonna load so fast that I'm not even gonna be able to talk about it, how fast it's gonna be able to load in the amount of time it's gonna be able to load. So you're just gonna have to watch the side-by-side comparison. All right, so now I am going to just straight up jump into this loading trigger and not gonna photo mode, and it's gonna load. I just want to make sure I have the appropriate line up here. Yeah, there we go. I didn't even have to photo mode to hit this loading trigger for it to load in time. So now on to Purge Trooper Skip. Okay, so here we are at Purge Trooper Skip, and I'm going to try to do the same thing I did last time, and it is not going to work. So once again, the loading trigger is here at the console, and we're going to see how fast it's going to load. Then I'm not even going to be able to complete a dash strike before the room loads. Now on to Bogano 2. As you can see, things are loading in much faster. You barely saw any lag or anything like that. And we're going to dash strike onto the Mantis, and we are going to watch the cutscene with no crash. So there you have it. Bogano 2 crashing, game crashing, clearly related to textures loading in too slowly, and we're moving too fast for the game, basically. I don't know why disabling texture streaming on my PC causes it to happen, and other people just play the game and it happens. It's got to be something hardware dependent, because it only happens to certain people. And Bang Up Job, as usual, actually tested it and disabled texture streaming, and he's got a better graphics card and a better computer than I do, and his computer didn't have any of the issues that I had when I disabled texture streaming. So that's it, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it informative. Just a little bit of an interesting thing that I found when I was messing around with console variables.